Welcome to the educational channel. This is the fourth episode of Unit 4. In this episode, we will discuss the vocabulary, reading comprehension, and summary. Now, I will begin with the vocabulary as usual, and here you can see the words that we will tackle and explain in this lesson. Now, look at the first picture. You can see someone who's trying to adjust the volume. Now, the definition of this word is a change in the way that someone behaves or thinks. Here's an example. Moving to a new house has been a difficult adjustment to me. Now, look at this picture. This picture describes itself. Non-verbal. The definition is not involving or using words or speech. Here's an example. Body language is a form of non-verbal communication. Look at this sentence. As you can see, there is a man holding a shield, so he's being defensive. The definition of this word is the state of behaving in a way that shows you feel that other people are criticizing you. Here's an example. He responded defensiveness towards the criticism. Now, look at this picture and try to guess. This picture refers to which word? It refers to the word enhance. The definition is to intensify, increase, or further improve the quality, value, or extent of something. Here's an example. Practicing your English language every day will enhance your skills in English. As you can see in this picture, a man trying to work, but he can't work because of the surrounding environment. So, this picture refers to the word distraction. The definition is something that interferes with concentration or takes attention away from something else. Here's an example. Loud noises while studying cause distraction. Looking at this picture, you can see there's a cup. Almost half of this cup is full, so the remaining is empty. This image refers to the word capacity. The definition is the ability or power to do, experience, or understand something. For example, the plane was crowded to its full capacity, so there's no room for other passengers. Now, this image refers to the word assumption. As you can see, there's a group of 3 people talking together. The definition of this word is a thing that is accepted as true or certain to happen. Here's an example. Sometimes people make their judgments based on false assumption. In this picture, you can see 2 persons and plus in front of them there's one person who is speaking to them. So he is the intellector. The intellector means, or the definition of this word is, a person who takes part in a dialogue or conversation. Here's an example. In college, I was chosen to be the intellector for our group to perform the presentation. I guess this picture really describes itself. You can immediately tell this picture refers to the word blackout. To prevent light from reaching something, from being seen or heard. Here's an example. People tend to block out bad memories to live happily. And the last word we have is empathy. Here's the definition: the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Here's an example. The mother feels empathy with her son. Now, let's practice. What we have to do now is very simple. You have to read the sentence carefully and then read the answers also carefully and choose the suitable answer. Now, sentence number 1, quiet places are suitable for studying because there is no. If you chose B, distraction, then you chose correctly. How about the second one? 2, space. Your piano skills you need to practice every day. I'll give you a hint. To improve. So look for the word that means improve. And the answer is C, enhance. So to enhance your piano skills, you need to practice every day. Now, the other type of question we have is gap filling. Gap filling basically you have few words between brackets. What you have to do is to read the sentence and choose the suitable word between the brackets. Number 1, false space or blank usually leads to false judgments. Now, read the words between the brackets. I'll read them to you. Assumption, defensiveness, empathy, capacity. Now, which one of them is suitable for the first sentence? The correct answer is assumption. Now, false assumption usually leads to false judgments. How about the second sentence? I couldn't download any data on my laptop because I used it to its full blank. Now, let's read the words again. The first one is assumption. We already used it, so we have to cross it. Look at the others: defensiveness, empathy, and capacity. The correct answer or the suitable answer is capacity. I couldn't download any data on my laptop because I used it to its full capacity. We are done with the vocabulary part. Now let's tackle the reading comprehension. Here are a few tips for reading comprehension. First, read the questions before reading the passage. 2, read the passage carefully and thoroughly. 3, deduce the meaning of difficult words through the context. Number 4, while reading the questions, pay attention to the keywords such as best title, synonym, antonym, or refer to. Number 5, repeat the question as if you are explaining it to someone else to make sure you understood it. Number 6, take your time while reading the choices given to you to make sure you have chosen the correct one. Now, types of question for reading comprehension. We have multiple choice, best title, main idea, and vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, definitions. And also we have word reference, locating information, and true or false information. The other type of questions for reading comprehension is productive questions. Explicit questions, answers are clearly mentioned in the text, or implicit questions, answers are implied in the text and not given directly or directly. Now, from your workbook, page 26, read the following passage and then answer the questions below. I will read the passage for you. Although the internet has been celebrated for its unrivaled success in bringing the world closer together, not everyone in the world has access to a computer. For many people, the internet and sending emails are an abstract technology that does not relate to their everyday lives. And instead, they favor writing and posting letters in the traditional way. But the postal authorities in Himachal Pradesh, a state in north of India, have introduced a new service for their customers which integrates traditional mail and email. People write their letters, then deposit them at their local post office. There they are transcribed and then sent by email to post offices in other parts of the country. Here, the emails are printed out and taken by the postman to their final destination. Some of these letters, however, which are addressed to very remote places, like the Himalayas, have to be taken by hand to their destinations. They are carried by mail runners who travel a long distance on foot, often through mountains or other inaccessible areas. These postmen, who wear special uniforms and carry a mail bag and a bill, were introduced by the Indian Post Office over 150 years ago. There are now over 16,000 mail runners in the territory of Himachal Pradesh. There is often an atmosphere of excitement when the chime of a postman's bell is heard in a village, some of which rarely see outsiders due to their distant locations. The runners also often bring news from other villages and from the outside world. Illiteracy is often high in these days, so a runner may have the added responsibility for reading the contents of the letter to the receptions if they cannot read it for themselves. The runners of Himachal Pradesh are therefore clearly more than just a postal service. They are a lifeline between the villages and the rest of the world. Now, we read the passage. Now, let's go to the questions. The first type of questions, we said we have multiple choice questions and productive. Now, first we will tackle the multiple choice questions. Number 1, the best title for this passage. Now, we read this paragraph. Now, choose the best title for this passage. The best title is B, Letters to the Mountain. Now, how about this question? The underlined word, who, refers to. What we have to do now is very simple. You have to go back to the passage, then try to find the word who, and as we said, it is underlined. So you must know this word referred to what, or to male runners. Number 3, the definition of the word unrivaled in the first line, in line number 1. What is the definition of this word? And definition is better than everyone or everything of the same type. Number 4, from the passage we can learn that. Now, we read the passage together. So, what do you learn from this passage? A, letters must be delivered by hand to remote areas. Or B, it is easy to write emails. C, everyone has a computer. D, everyone can read and write. So the answer is letters must be delivered by hand to remote areas. Now, number 5, all sentences are true except. So we have 4 options or 4 answers. All of them are true except 1. We read the passage together. We understood the passage. And now what we have to do is very simple. You have to read all the answers and then figure out which one of them is not true. C is the answer. There are few male runners in India. Now the other type of question, which is productive question. In which part of India is Himachal Pradesh? The north of India. We know the answer because we read the passage and we understood the information from the passage. Now, how about number 2? How are people's traditional letters sent by email? The answer is they are copied. Number 3, who takes the printed emails to the very remote areas? According to the paragraph, who takes the printed emails to the very remote areas? Male runners. This is the answer. Number 4, how many of these people are there in Himachal Pradesh? Over 1,600. Now, for summary making, when answering summary question, you should read and understand the question properly. 2, read and understand the paragraph. 3, there are usually 5 answers in a question summary. Underline 4 of them. Join the answers using words like first, second, third, finally, etc. Now, for paraphrasing, make sure you understand the passage, break up and join ideas, elaborate on or shorten some ideas, maintain the idea of the original passage as truly as possible. And to use your own words, you are advised to change the vocabulary, transform a sentence, change the word class. For summary making, this is the rubrics. Now, how can a person be an effective listener? This is the summary, and this is the paragraph. Now, what we have to do now is very simple. You have to underline the 4 or the main ideas. Now, here are the main ideas. Let's go to paraphrasing. This is the first idea. People shouldn't judge others before they understand what they are going through. Look at the sentence. First, people should be understanding rather than judgmental. The second idea, supportive listening is another way of improving your listening skills. Look how we paraphrased this idea. Second, practicing supportive listening can make you a better listener. This is the third idea. Therefore, one has to practice the art of listening between the lines and try to figure out what the other person is really saying. And this is how we paraphrase this idea. Also, people should listen between the lines and understand the indirect messages. The last idea we have is a good listener never interrupts the interlocutor. Instead, they listen to all what they have to say. This is how we paraphrase this sentence. Finally, you should listen to the person and not interrupt them. Notice how we used the transition words. First, second, also, finally. This is how it's supposed to look like. when you write your summary. So in this episode, we looked at new vocabulary, did an exercise on reading comprehension, and looked at how we summarize a passage. Thank you for watching.